entire globe involving hundreds of different cultures explaining the same phenomenon by different names.
The nature of the footprints, namely their remarkable consistency, their biomechanical appropriateness, those aspects that are extremely compelling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Bigfoot Influencers. My name is Tim Halloran.
And I'm Dana Halloran, and we're so excited to have you guys join our podcast tonight. We have two very special guests. Yes, we got two guests, not just one, we got two. One that we've previously had and one new one. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about who they are?
Sure. So we're going to do something really, really special today. There's an upcoming event in Kelso, Washington
that we're so excited about.
It's called sQuatch Fest. So it's been an ongoing event, and the organizer of the event, Pam Fierst, was super kind and is willing to join us, and we're going to talk about the event. And then Shane, our friend Shane Corson, is going to be on.
Shane's back, yay! And
Shane is speaking at the event, and he's been there multiple times. So we're just gonna we want to bring this to the audience because it's one of the top events in the country, world class. Everyone's out there, and we're super excited.
And we're going to be there too.
We are.
We're so excited.
So without any further ado, let's bring our guests in.
Hey, Pam. Hey, Shane.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Doing well.
Yeah.
So wait, how far away are you guys from each other? Because where are you, Pam?
I'm in Kalama, which is just outside of Kelso and Longview. So Shane, you're up by the Olympic Peninsula?
I'm actually up in Belfair, Washington. So 2 hours away from you, roughly two and a quarter.
Yeah.
So you guys are close. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is. And I'm looking, Shane, I'm looking at your background there. I see a Squatch Fest poster up there on the wall. So.
And Pam, I love your last name. Fierst. Like, are you the fiercest of everyone? I love that.
It's a lot of people.
Great last name.
Yeah. People a lot of times don't know how to pronounce it. And I say, just think of mighty and fierce.
That's cool.
Perfect, yeah.
I love it.
One of your favorite words.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite words.
So we're just thrilled. Thank you both for joining. We're excited to attend the event. And it's our first time there. And we're super, super duper thrilled. We're going to see a bunch of Shane. We're going to meet Shane for the first time in person.
Right.
And Shane was, so kind to be on our podcast. He was part of my first book, and been a really cool guy. Yeah. So we just can't wait. So
and Pam, we're so super excited to get to know you better and hear all about what you do for Squatch Fest.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we could just get started with that, Pam. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how it got started, what your guys are doing there, and everything that's going on.
Okay. So we're in our 8th year. And it got started mainly because we're a chamber of commerce, and we always try to promote business. And January is always a slow year for business. Slow time of year. So we decided to put this event together to bring tourism into our community and help our businesses. How it really all started in the beginning. And it just grew from there, and it has taken off and people love it. We're in the Pacific Northwest. Bigfoot's everywhere up here. There's sightings in so many different places. And it's Bigfoot country, I call it anyway. And so it's just grown from there. We took it from a 1-day event to a day-and-a-half event. We added a brew mountain, which we call Brew Mountain, for our breweries, our local breweries, to kind of demonstrate a little bit of what they have and what they're locally brewing. Brought in some of our wineries that are doing some wines. And then this year we're adding a mimosa area because not everybody likes beer or wine. So we brought in mimosas. We have some of our local artists that are going to play some of their local songs or some of the songs that they have hits and stuff throughout both days. And then the money from Broom Mountain is also raising money for our high school senior scholarships.
Oh,
So all of the
yay.
proceeds that come from that go to providing our local seniors in 6 different high schools the opportunity to go on to further their education, whether it's trade schools or college. And then we also have, we call it family entertainment because there's a little bit of something for everybody. We have our lineup of our speakers that will be speaking throughout the day on Saturday. We have a panel of speakers on Friday with some sounds of Squatch and Bigfoot in different areas. We are going to have a contest to see who can sound like Squatch the most. We'll have a prize for that. And then we also have a kids area that's on Saturday that is also from 10 to 6 where kids can go in and do activities and fun things. Home Depot has supplied us with some crafts and some hammers so they can build like birdhouses and little crafts and things like that they have donated to our event so that we can make it a lot of fun. And then we have food cart area with some of our local food trucks that are going to come in. And so there'll be food all throughout the day on both days. And then we have close to right now, we have 65 vendors who have signed up to sell anything and everything Squatch.
That is so cool. Hey, you know what? I was just thinking that if they had a sound like a Squatch snoring contest, I think I know someone who might win that.
Yeah.
That is so super cool, Pam, that you guys have all of those fun things
Right.
going on, because that's definitely like important. Because whether it's your kid that's into Bigfoot or you're the parent who's interested and you need something fun for your kid to do, then that you have all of that going on.
Yeah, there's probably a few Bigfooters, I hope, that aren't, doing the babysitting for the kids. But for the most part, I think it's
We
safe.
could get Bobo to do
Yeah.
that. That would be
I
interesting.
think Shane, you should teach the kids how to have someone in your group teach the kids how to build like long duration recording devices or something. That'd be fun. So Shane, how long have you been attending the event?
I believe this is going to be my 5th year, maybe 6. I forget off the top of my head, but it's an absolutely wonderful event. Every year it just gets bigger and better. Every year that I've attended, it just the venue's fantastic. The parking is great. As Pam was talking about, the vendors, amazing vendors, everything Sasquatch related and more. I mean, there's something for everybody, and great food. Just a really, really fun event. One of the top events in the nation, bar none, and right at the top of my list for events to attend. And every year that I am invited back, I'm truly blessed by it. It's just such a fun and just a wonderful event.
So Shane, the Olympic. So for the audience, I mean, if you guys don't know who Shane Corson is, you can go back and look at our past podcasts with Shane, or he's has his own podcast, and you can look up the Olympic Project. He's pretty easy to find out there in the Bigfoot world. So, but you're gonna have a table set up there as well with the Olympic Project.
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to have a table set up there. I'll have some different casts on the table, some information spread out for people to walk by and look at. And, of course, I'll be there, and 1 or 2 of the other Olympic Project members will be there. And we're always looking forward to the people that come and ask us questions and or tell stories. That's one of the coolest things about this event is the amount of people that come in there with fantastic, sometimes absolutely amazing reports and encounters. It's a great venue for people to come that are like-minded or even skeptical to come in and learn and talk about stuff. It's so yeah, we'll have a table set up. I will of course be a speaker at the event. I got a pretty cool presentation set up. I'm really looking forward to sharing with the audience, and also just a lot of great speakers are going to be there. I mean, you're talking Dr. Meldrum, Matt Pruitt. Matt Prout's fantastic. Cliff Barrickman, of course. I'm really looking forward to listening to them speak as well.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this lineup. I worked with Cliff a little bit about who to bring in this year because I wanted to give some people a chance that really haven't had that chance to speak yet and kind of tell their stories too. And so I worked a lot with Cliff to make this lineup a little bit different this year and get some new people in. It's always fun to listen to the new guys coming in that are just getting started, that have wonderful stories. And, I just love all of this.
So, hey, Pam, so why don't you share with us the schedule? Like, what does the weekend look like?
So, like I said, on Friday is a half a day. It's from 4 to 8. And that's where you'll have a chance because the speakers all have their own table so they can sell their stuff that they want or promote their books or because a lot of them have wrote books and they're going to be promoting books and just talk with the people. They love having that opportunity to sit and talk with the people and get their stories. And it's great because the people will come in with casts that they've made themselves, been out in the woods, and they'll bring them in and show them to these guys. And they're just so proud of everything that they do. And they look up to these guys like idols. It's great. I do. I get starstruck every time I have this event, but and so listening to those stories. So on Friday, we'll have a panel of speakers. They'll be able to ask questions from the audience. We'll be able to ask the questions and things like that of them. They'll have a chance to tell a little bit about their stories and that kind of thing. And like I said, we'll have the calling contest to see if we can maybe bring some out of the woods, who knows. And we'll have a prize for that. And that's just kind of a day to get everybody's kind of feet wet and kind of get everything settled down. The vendors will all be there set up, selling their wares. It's just kind of a preliminary day to just kind of get into the groove of what's going to happen the next day, which is our full day. And that is from 10 to 8. And so the lineup of speakers is out there on the kelso-longviewchamber.org page. And that's where you can also buy tickets to the event ahead of time. And so we'll start off with Jeff Meldrum, and he'll start at 10:30, and then we'll go down the whole list, and then Cliff is at the end. He'll start at 6 to round it all out. And so all day long, the speakers will each one have a chance to tell their stories, let people get to know them a little better. And then when they're not speaking, they'll be at their booths so that you can actually get up close and personal with them, which we just love.
That's so cool.
It is. So I thought maybe we would go through and share who's speaking. So the host is Craig Yanni. I think I pronounced his name right. Is that correct?
Yep.
You did.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
So
Craig.
what's Craig going to be doing throughout the event?
So Craig is going to be our MC, and he is going to help the speakers, get them started, get their presentations all set up and stuff. And then he'll be introducing them with some quick bios so that the audience has a little bit of information about who's coming on. A lot of people already know who all these people are. A lot of people don't. Some of them are coming because their husband is into it and they don't know who they are. So we want to make sure everybody has a little bit of a background of whoever speaker is. And then, he just kind of keeps things rolling for me because I can't be in there 24/7 with this big event. And so he's going to kind of take care of the speaker side of it for me. And then I will go in from time to time and, do my thing to help too.
I did the MC thing last year. It's a lot of
Oh,
work.
at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. Yeah.
It was work. It was a busy day. It was a busy day.
Yeah.
For both
But
of us.
Pam needs a break. She
Yeah,
can't be
yeah, I know.
she can't be everywhere.
So Michael Freeman's going to be there.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
I mean, Shane, do you know Michael? Have you met Michael personally, or just through
Yeah, I finally got the chance in November to meet Michael and hear him present. And he's a phenomenal speaker. Obviously, he's the son of Paul Freeman, who worked in the blues. Tremendous amount of work out there. one of the most famous Sasquatch videos on the planet. It was taken by his father. But if you anybody that's going, they have to check out Michael Freeman's presentation.
Mhm.
It is bar none. I was enthralled from start to finish. I learned a lot of stuff that I did not know, and I thought I knew everything about that film and his dad. I was wrong. Michael filled in a lot of voids. He showcased his dad's character. I mean, I can't say enough about Michael Freeman. So he is one guy I'm going to sit down and watch him present again. So, yeah, fantastic guy. One other thing I just wanted to point out is the Kelso Longview area itself, historically, is just a phenomenal area for reports. Fred Beck and the gang from, Mount St. Helens is a stone's throw away. You can see it. It's beautiful. So if you're in town that weekend, go check out Mount St. Helens. Ape Canyon mystery. When Fred Beck and those guys left Ape Canyon up there near Mount St. Helens, they stopped in Kelso and Longview. I mean, they told their story down there. So there's a lot of history in Kelso and Longview, and a lot of really squatchy areas right around that area. A lot of them. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, Shane, because I feel like a lot, it's important to have the convention or your conference or your fest in a squatchy place. So that is just awesome, you guys.
And I'm glad
Yeah,
you
we
mentioned
kinda
I
like
forgot-
it.
Oh, go ahead, Pam.
I was just going to say that's part of it is the Pacific Northwest has a lot of sightings. We have a lot of sightings right here, and having the chance for them to tell their story on Friday to our speakers is really great, because we do get a lot of locals that come down and say, hey, I was up by Mount St. Helens, just 3 months ago and fishing on this stream, and I'm not sure if I seen what I think I seen, but I'll tell you, can you kind of tell me if that's what it was? And so we get a lot of those too.
Yeah, I'm sure, and the folks that are local, they're getting reports, as Shane mentioned earlier, that there's people come and tell their stories, and it's in the backyard, so you guys can actually act on those stories if you wanted to, or the accounts or the witness, reports. So that's really fun and exciting.
That is super, super cool.
So, Mr. Ken Gerhardt's going to be there as well.
Yeah.
So, Pam, has Ken been out before to the event?
So Ken has been out before. He's had a booth at our event and stuff, and he's been on the panel on Friday to talk and answer questions, but this is going to be his first year actually being one of our speakers. And I have met Ken quite a few times, and I decided that, it's time for him to actually come stand up on stage. So I wanted to give him that opportunity to tell his story.
And he's a great. I was at an event with Ken last year, and then we've had Ken on the podcast
Just recently.
And he is such a great communicator, great educator, and he's a wealth of knowledge. So he's going to be great for the event.
Right.
And then Pam, how about that guy Shane Corson? What made you decide to bring him?
Yeah, I mean, of all people.
Well, Shane and his crew is very impressive. Was it last year you guys brought the Squatch nest out? Or was it the year before?
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, these guys, I mean, they're in my backyard up there in the Olympics. And that is a wealth of land up there that's untouched. And these guys are out there all the time, and they have stories that come out of there. But the educational side of it that Shane and his crew do is great to educate the people. And eventually I would like to have an educational side to Squatch Fest, of having Shane and his crew do a spotlight of where they kind of teach people how to take and make footprints when they find something, how to cast them, things like that, and what to look for. That's probably my next part of making this event grow, is to be able to add a little bit of education into it as far as what to look for, how to make those casts. And that all came from Shane and his crew, and that nest, and showing people what those things are, what they look like. So when you're out in the woods, you know what you're looking for. And when you see something that looks odd or strange, take a picture of it.
I love it. I love it. How many times have I said that?
I know.
I've said, you know what? They should do more educational things to Pam. It takes a woman sometimes to get some things done. And
Yeah.
you've apparently done that, girl. Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
at other conferences, I'm like, we need like some like, how do we make castings in a footprint?
Exactly.
Like, how do we, maybe how to stay safe or whatever. Like, girl,
There's so
I
much.
love
Exactly.
it. I love it.
And then Shane,
And what to bring with you when you're out hiking. As a
And
woman,
these
it's
guys
like,
know all
what
that
should I bring
stuff.
with me? Yeah,
They
I
know all
don't.
that stuff. I
Yeah,
love it. I
so,
love it.
and I believe,
Yeah, so Shane, we'll talk.
yeah, I believe David Ellis and Chris Spencer will be there. I think they've
Ooh,
already
that's cool.
told me, so they're part of they're out there with Shane with the Olympic project.
Yay, cool.
But-
You got your buddies with you.
But so Shane, you actually brought nests, some of the nests. So for the audience, did Shane and the Olympic project team found 2 nest sites, Todd Hale and that group. And so what you're saying is you actually brought some of the actual nest you brought?
No, I did bring some of the material from the actual nest, but to actually transport one of these, nests that anywhere from 4 feet across or long to 8.5 out of the woods would be impossible. What Derek Randalls and I had done is reconstructed a nest, made a platform that we put it on, and kind of showcased the size, how thick it was, made out of the huckleberry, the deep impression in the middle, and the construction, how it was laid out. So we brought one of those down there. It's actually currently in Cliff's Museum. Cliff Bergman, right after Squatch Fest, I drove straight down with my trailer to Cliff's Museum and brought it in there, and it's on display. It's deteriorated quite some, obviously,
Right.
but it, as far as I know, it's still up on display. But
So when
it
you
really,
reconstruct,
yeah.
No, you reconstructed it from the actual nest material that you found.
No, we got new stuff because
Okay,
I wanted
okay.
to showcase what they looked like originally, because over time everything dilapidates, and they're not near as impressive as they used to be. So I wanted to showcase how they originally appeared, and that's what Derek Randalls and I had done, was grabbed a bunch of huckleberry. I mean, I spent hours working on this thing, and it just really blew my mind, the amount of work and time that would go into making one of these things, let alone over 20, so I wanted people to look at this visually. Pictures, video are kind of cool, but to see it in person, to stand up in it, to sit in it, really gives you the kind of wow factor. Like, wow. I mean, what makes these things? It's obviously not a bear. It's what makes these things? Well, we're of the opinion, based on the hair analysis and the foot impressions and all that occasionally Sasquatch makes nests. And I was very fortunate to be invited back to Squatch Fest 2 years ago, and brought one down there, and I think it was a hit.
It was very impressive.
And is the actual size? I mean, that's so cool.
I think that's
Yeah.
so cool. That's
Yeah.
so important because, like you said, Shane, a video, a picture, it's just not the same thing as actually being like, whoa, what the heck is sleeping in there? Do you know what I
Right.
mean? So that's so smart.
Yeah, we're gonna get to, hopefully we're gonna get to Cliff's Museum, before the event. So
Yeah.
we'll get.
It's not very often that us little Delawareans get over to the Northwest.
Yeah. So that's cool. So and Matt Pruitt's gonna be there speaking.
I know, Matt.
So Matt's a good friend of
Yay.
ours, and what I guess this is the first time for Matt to be out there, right, Pam?
Yeah, so it's
And
Matt's
he's
first
such
time.
a good speaker.
Yeah, and so I've not heard him yet, so I'm excited. But I was talking to Cliff, and he was telling me that Matt was coming out with a book too, and so I thought, that's perfect timing also. So, and it's like we have not had him out there, and people have mentioned his name a few times, and so I'm like, well, let's do it. Let's make this happen. And so, I was so glad that he said yes.
Yeah, Matt's great. He's a good educator as well. I mean, Shane knows Matt, and his book, The Phenomenal Sasquatch, he released this year, is really amazing book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, truly.
And I'm glad we're coming out because Matt, you still owe me a signed copy, buddy. So I'm gonna get it.
So who else did we mention? Did we mention everybody here?
Not yet. We
got everyone. Okay.
Almost. Well, Dr. Jeff Meldrum will be there.
Yes, that'll be so cool to see Dr. Jeff. Absolutely.
And
He always comes up, with his. I mean, there's only so much you can talk about with with Bigfoot, but somehow Dr. Jeff always manages to come up with a different take on things or something new to look at. So you probably think, oh, I've seen Dr. Jeff a million times, but you really haven't. Every time is different for sure.
And
Yeah,
then
and he's
Cliff
been with
Erickman.
us for the last 8 years. And so has Cliff. They've been there 8 years. This will be their 8th year with us
Aw.
from the beginning.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, Cliff is actually who recommended us to come out to the event. So thank you, Cliff. So
Yeah.
we're super excited. Pam, can you think of something memorable? Because you've been there since the beginning, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Anything memorable that sticks out?
Well, like I said, when they brought that nest in, that was one of the most memorable things. But also, I would just say the speakers in general, they are so nice to everybody who comes up and talks to them, and they see hundreds and hundreds of people. Last year we had 3,400 people come through our event, and they were always so nice, listen to everybody's story, and talk to each and every person who came up to them, which I cannot say that I've been to other events and still got that from day one to the end of day two, had that still same great impression of people. So the speakers are phenomenal. Love them all. Would have every one of them back again. If I could have all of them, I would. And just the stories. The stories that come from people, and everybody wants to tell their story. It's great. Nobody feels like they're judged at these kind of conferences, which is great. So you can always tell everybody your story, and everybody will listen. Some are a little, I don't know, but they're interesting. I've had one lady come up to me and tell me that she has Bigfoot come to her house every night, and she talks to him. And she's up north from here, and yeah, they're great friends. Every night they sit out on the porch and talk and have great conversations, and
Wow.
he leaves their stuff, and
Aw.
so it's kind of, I'm like, well, can you take me there to meet him?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he doesn't come out to meet other people, but and then there's other people that they're just always saying, I'm not sure if what I think I saw was what I saw. And they kind of just want to tell somebody and see if they can give them some reassurance of what they think they saw is what they saw.
Right.
And, so yeah, we get all kinds of good stories.
That's cool. How
Or I
about you,
wouldn't say-
Shane? Because this is like your 4th time.
Fifth, I think.
Fifth.
Yeah, I honestly forget off the top of my head, but there is I don't even know where to start. I think what I find and have found to be some of the most awesome times at these events is when, like Pam was talking, like people come up and talk with you, and they share photos or video that sometimes knock your socks off, and they tell their stories, and it really is gathering. For me personally, I love these events because I get as much out of it as I hope the audience does, because I get to talk to people, and sometimes I'll get a piece to the puzzle that I didn't know about, or give me food for thought or an idea from the attendees, and I put that in my back pocket, and when I go home, I start putting those puzzle pieces together, so that I've learned a lot from the attendees and from a lot of the speakers. I've yet to meet Matt Pruitt. I've talked with Matt before. Great guy. And I can't wait to see his presentation. His book's fantastic. Michael Freeman. So a lot of it, Jeff Meldrum, Cliff, Ken, good friend. I love those guys, and they always bring something new to the table that I, as a colleague or as a friend, I learn from these guys too. And it's a pleasure being in their presence. So, got people from all around the country. And meeting you guys is going to be awesome as well for the first time. And so that to me, it's the people that come that I really enjoy. That's my greatest takes and moments have been from the attendees.
Yeah, the impression that I get from this, Pam and Shane, is that there's so many different facets to this fest. It's like a conference for like people who are like serious researchers and who are doing this every day. It's also a place to go for people who may have had a Bigfoot experience and need some camaraderie. And it's also, it could be a place just for fun of just, seeing what's going on and there's something fun to do on the weekend. Or it could just be somebody who's curious about the subject of Bigfoot and wants to learn more about it. There's just like so much going on with this conference. I mean, so like Pam, tell us about some other things that are going on in the town. Obviously, the point of doing this was to bring people in. So because where is the actual Squatch Fest?
So
Is it
it's
in a
held at
building?
our event center. It's in
Okay.
it's in our event center building. So everything is inside. We have one big room, which is where all of our vendors will be set up, and our speakers will have their booths and stuff. And then on the other side is another big room where our speakers will be, that is set up with 750 chairs, which gets full. It gets full, and people are standing around because there's not enough seats left. And that's where our speakers will be speaking. There'll be anywhere from 90 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on their presentations. And then across the hall from that is another big room where all of our kid activities are all set up. And so that's where all the kids can do all their fun stuff. And then just off of the big room where we have all our vendors is where our food carts are going to be set up outside. And there'll be a tent where people can go into and eat with some picnic tables and things like that set up, so you have somewhere to sit and eat. And then on the other side is going to be another big, huge tent, and that's where Brew Mountain's going to take place. And that's where all of our breweries are set up. There's places in there for people to sit and stand and talk and, just kind of have some fun. And there'll be some background music going on all day. So we take over
So
the
is
whole
the background
fairgrounds.
music, I'm sorry, Pam, is the background music live music or is it just
Yes.
like a,
Yes.
oh my
No,
gosh.
they're live.
that
There are
is-
some of our local artists. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's super cool. I love the way that you're organizing it. Like I like the name Squatch Fest because there's a party to it as well,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
really, really cool.
I think so. I think it gives people a chance to, one of the awesome things, sometimes people get intimidated going to these events, but you can go up to Shane and talk to Shane. He's not that he's just a person. He's just he's a human being, and he's open and kind, and he loves talking to people. So we're going to encourage everyone to do that. Talk to the people you see on TV and you hear about on podcasts and who you read about. That's what they're there to do, to help educate you. And Pam, so I want to talk about the brew garden. Not that that's where I'm going to be at, but so is two things, because you mentioned sometimes people just come for that, right? And just come to just check out the breweries, which is cool.
That
too.
is cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah. So we kind of incorporated a little bit of both going on there, so that we can have some of the people that just want to try out some of the local IPAs and things like that. And they have to actually come into the event, walk past all of our vendors before they can get into the brew mountain.
And also to get out too.
Exactly.
So they drink all their beer and then they're on their way out, they'll just buy a bunch of Bigfoot stuff.
As they
Yeah.
stumble
Smart.
out. Yeah.
Well, and we're actually thinking too that maybe they would get encouraged to want to go and listen to the speakers and that kind of stuff and find a little bit more about what's going on and what brought all these people to this little small town.
And so tell me about the town, Pam, because obviously we've never been there and probably a lot of our listeners haven't either. So tell us about your little town.
So Kelso and Longview is we're a logging town, basically. So I think that's where a lot of the old stories and things is, because there were loggers out there logging. And, that's where it all kind of started with all the different things that happened around here. But that's mainly our import-export is the logging industry. We are growing tremendously every year, getting bigger and bigger. But we were trying to make sure that businesses, because we are a chamber, not just putting on festivals. We are an actual chamber, and so we are always looking about how we can help improve business in our community and make our businesses thrive. And being that January is a slow time for tourism, we thought that this festival would be a great way to bring in tourism and bring in some extra tourism dollars to help our businesses stay in business. And so I mean, we're not real little. Cowlitz County is pretty good sized for what we are. We are 30 minutes from Vancouver, 45 minutes from Portland, to 2.5 hours from Seattle. We kind of consider ourselves kind of a hub. We're an hour and a half from Johnston Ridge at Mount St. Helens, and we're an hour and a half from the beach. So where else can
like
you
us.
stay? Where else can you stay for multiple?
We have so convenient.
Yeah. And you can go do mountain stuff one day and play in the ocean the next.
Mm-hmm.
That is so, or you can go Bigfooting, or you could go to a
Bigfoot
Bigfoot fest. Yeah.
So let's ask Shane, what do you recommend for first timers coming to the event? What should they prepare for? What can they expect?
First of all, just to have a great time. I mean, you're going to have a good time. I yet in all the years I've been attending this event to see anybody dismayed. They all leave with smiles on their faces, and come away with memories and new friendships. And I think in a lot of ways, a lot of the skeptical individuals that have come up to this event before, I think they've come away with a lot to chew on, and maybe even persuaded them a little more towards, hey, there's something to this. Mm-hmm. So as a newbie coming to this event, just first of all, expect to have a good time. Definitely go and check out the tables. Talk to the speakers. They're all engaging. They're all super intelligent. Many of them have written books, as Pam pointed out. Come there with a open mind if you're a skeptic, and ask questions. And then prepare to eat good food. Have a nice IPA, just in a relaxing atmosphere with great people, and a lot of eye candy as far as Bigfoot stuff. They a lot of cases have someone in a costume. They have giant Sasquatches around, and whatnot. So a lot of neat things for the eyes, and then if you have kids, the cave is awesome. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she loves it. She loves going in there and coloring stuff and building stuff. And sometimes, I don't know, they've had animals in the past in there. So it's a wonderful event all around. You're going to leave, you're going to get there, and you're going to have a great time.
Super cool.
So, all right, I got to ask Pam something. So, Pam, 8 years ago when you did the first event,
I was thinking this. Yeah.
Did you believe in Bigfoot, or what are your thoughts on Bigfoot?
Well, and again,
ago, and then we'll go to now.
Yeah, 8 years ago, it was like, festival. Let's see. Is that really going to go anywhere, or is it just going to be a bust? But, it's the first year.
I think Tim's question, Pam, Tim's question was,
do I believe or not?
Right. There we go.
And I really can't say that I do, and I can't say that I don't. I have heard strange things in the woods that I'm not sure what it is, but I've not seen one that I know of, so I can't say that there isn't.
Okay.
But after the first event and then the events following, how did that change your thought about it after hearing all these fascinating speakers talk about it?
It changed my thought a lot. Believe me, I hit Netflix and watched shows after shows after shows after shows. And I'm like, I've seen some of these kinds of things out in the woods. I just contributed it to whatever and didn't really pay much attention to it. But now when I go hiking, I have a different thought process when I go hiking. And I see something that I would have just walked past before. I actually stop and look at it now. Because I'm not sure if that could be what I think it might be.
it's amazing when you're exposed to it
Mm-hmm.
and you start taking, at first you're like, oh my God, Bigfoot is just like a little cute necklace thing that I can wear, or, it's a guy selling a beef jerky or
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And then when you like go to like a conference or you start like, just informing yourself on the internet or watching videos like you were saying, and you're just like, whoa, there's like a possibility that this thing, not just this thing, but these things exist. And so, it's pretty cool when that happens, for sure, because you're like, this isn't just a joke. Like,
and when you're going out hiking and you see broken branches way up in the tree that, where a tree's been snapped a lot higher up than I can even put my hand, you're like, okay, what really caused that? There's nothing around that could have done that. Or see an impression in the ground and you're like, that kind of looks like it might have toes. You kind of stop a little bit more and you're looking a little bit more to see if you can actually see those things that before I would not have even paid attention to.
Yeah, wow. I think most people are shocked just in general about how much stuff is out there in the woods that we never see, but it's out there.
Yeah. Well, it brings up a point. So, and I'll ask Shane because Shane's a hunter. Our last episode, we had Outdoors Dan Young. He's a professional hunter. He's got his own ESPN shows, and we asked him about how many hunters that are hunting for elk or deer may walk by potential, clues or evidence because they're not looking for it. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Shane? Since you're a hunter also.
Yeah. Let alone how many hunters walk by their quarry, a deer. I mean, just I'm sure it happens more times than not. And in fact, they do see something or hear something. A lot of times they don't talk about it. They just kind of shut up. They toss it aside. They don't want to be called a weirdo. And they also don't want their paradigm shifted, thinking that I'm out here with a gun. I'm the meanest, baddest thing out here. Other than, the bears and the mountain lions and whatnot, that there's something bigger that's been out here the whole time, probably watching me. And so they don't want to admit that. That'll change their thought process of going to the woods and hunting. So I think a lot of times they pass up on stuff. Or if they see something, they don't share it. They don't want to go down that road. They don't want to be ridiculed. And so it's for them, as I'm a hunter and I know Sasquatch to exist. It's just part of the environment. So it's difficult for me to hunt sometimes because I'm in the back of my head, I'm always looking for things. But it also makes me very observant to my surroundings and actually a better hunter overall.
Yeah, because a lot of times we're just walking through the woods, trudging along and, but are we ever like really being aware of what's going on around us? That's a great point, Jean.
I listen a little bit more to the sounds around me too.
Yeah, I mean, as a hunter, right? You're going to the woods, and everything slows down. I think if you're a seasoned hunter and a good hunter, you're not rushing around. You're very methodical with your movements, with your sounds. You're listening, and so being a hunter, and I've talked to other hunters that have had things happen. It's partly because they're so observant and detail oriented. You're looking for that ear. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of the areas I hunt. It's nasty weather, which is the best time to hunt, especially for blacktail. It's very thick terrain. So you got to look for details. You're looking for an ear, a twitch, an antler, So, and every once in a while, you'll see something else. And so it's just because you're being even more observant. I think that's why a lot of hunters do have sightings. They're getting out to areas where most of the year nobody goes to. So
right.
And they're by themselves because that's what they're doing. They're praying. They're setting up. Whether they're in a deer stand or they're not. They're just, they're sitting and waiting and watching and observing.
So here's a question because you mentioned weather, Shane. So Pam, what's the weather supposed to be like there for the Squatch Fest?
So every year that we've had it, it has either been just a little rainy or just, it's not been bad. We have not had the S word, so we're always hoping that doesn't happen.
S word, snow.
Oh, sorry. I love the S word.
Yeah,
thought
but
it was
then
she
it
was
just
saying the bad word. I'm like, this word. How does that
Yeah,
Bad
we get
word
rain
up there right in the event. Yeah.
yeah, because people don't want to come out when it snows. So,
But does it snow
we
there a
want
lot or
not a whole lot. That's probably
okay?
why we have not as many people want to come out in the snow because we don't get it very often.
Okay.
We get a lot of rain, but the last few years, I've got to say the weather hasn't been bad.
Okay, good.
It's just a little on the cold side. We will always stay around, the mid to upper 40s, sometimes into the 50s, but sometimes a little rain, but it's never been bad. And most of everything is all inside. So
Right.
we make sure
So
and
you're
put
close.
tents up and everything to, keep everybody happy when our tents are heated too. So.
Oh, yay. Yay.
Ooh.
So,
That's nice.
so the question's for both of you. Hiking. I mean, so just for people who are coming in for the weekend and outside of the event, I mean, if they want to get out in the woods, whether it's to look for Bigfoot or just to hike, I mean, where do you suggest a couple of spots to suggest them to go that are, moderate and safe close by?
Well, we have Mount St. Helens, so there is hundreds and hundreds of trails around Mount St. Helens on both sides, on the 504 and the 503. There's trails everywhere around here. There's easy access to get to the woods, rivers. We have lots of fishing here too. If people are coming out and want to do some fishing, we have a lot of salmon fishing, things like that go on year round. So there's all kinds of outdoor activities that you can do here. Like I said, Mount St. Helens on both sides has tons and tons of trails that can take you anywhere from a mile to 10 to 26 miles. So.
I have a bad feeling that we're going to go there and we're going to not want to come back home.
No.
This sounds like a really cool place. Sometimes that
and
happens.
if you love green trees,
we love green
if you love green
Yes.
trees, we have lots of evergreens.
Okay. See, I like that. And you're only an hour and a half from the beach?
Yeah, from Seaside or Long Beach. Yeah.
That's super
Wow.
cool.
And Long Beach you can drive on.
Wow.
And not Long Beach, California, folks.
Yeah.
Long Beach,
No, Long Beach, Washington.
So how about, what do you think, Shane? Where is there a couple spots that you would say, hey, you guys should check this out if it's your first time in the area and you want to go hiking or get out in the woods?
Yeah, as Pam said, Mount St. Helens, bar none. If you're that close and you've never been up in that area, it's amazing. The history.
Okay.
There's lots of beautiful, views and vistas, and you can check out a lot of neat trails up there. You can check out where it exploded and all that, the volcano itself. I mean, and then pardon me, you got Packwood area. I mean, there's logging roads for days. Very easy. You can go from really easy hikes to moderate to extreme in a short spell of time, but every single one is beautiful, and you've got chances of seeing elk and deer and bear and a lot of different animals. Great views, great pictures, but the hikes, and it's, for me, that this time of year is like the perfect time of year for hiking, weather-wise. You're not on the extreme cold, you're not on the extreme heat, you're kind of down there in the middle. It's a great time to get out and enjoy, and then the beach areas, lots of trails around the beach areas. I mean, trails for days where there's been a lot of sightings in Seaside and Longview and up and down the coast there. All the rivers in this area, as Pam noted, they're phenomenal fishing. And so that also plays into why this area, Kelso Longview, is such a great Sasquatch area, because of the amount of salmon and steelhead and stuff that come up these rivers, especially the salmon that spawn. The bears partake in it, and the Sasquatch definitely partake in it. So, go hike along a river. Be careful, of course, but go traverse around one of the local rivers and streams. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you need to have a good environment to support a large omnivore. That sounds definitely like that for sure.
Food, shelter, and water.
Yeah,
Right?
and salmon and fresh water and elk and deer. I'm excited because we're actually coming for are we going to be there for should we tell people?
Yeah, well, we're coming out
Because we
early.
don't want you bothering us until we get to the. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, we're gonna be out. We're not gonna be in Kelso, but we're gonna
Right.
be outside of I guess east of Portland, where we're staying for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna come out Monday, Pam. So we're gonna fly. Well, we're flying out Monday, so it's a long trip from the East Coast. We get 3 hours, but so we'll be out there early to hang out and do exactly what you guys are saying. We're gonna
Yeah.
hike. We're gonna just take it all in. Like I said, we're gonna go
Excellent.
see Cliff over at this museum and maybe catch up with some of our friends prior to the event too. We've already started working on that. So.
Yeah.
And we got a place, Shane, right along the river. So
Yeah, we're gonna have a little Sasquatch knocking on our door.
maybe. So
No, I'm
Not so
joking.
little.
You never know.
Doesn't
Yeah,
happen here
yeah.
in Delaware, that's
Yeah.
for sure. So
So, what else? So, what else, Pam? Inside the area, Kelso. What can folks do? In the city. What would you suggest? Some must see sites within the area.
Well, we have beautiful parks and things like that too. We got Lake Sacagawea, which was voted number 7 of the most beautiful places in the United States.
wow.
And it's a man-made lake, and it's a 3.2 mile walk all the way around it, which is great. So you can get out, and if you don't want to go out to the trails and that kind of thing, but you do want to get out and kind of see some nature, the lake is a great place to go. We have ducks and geese and all kinds of stuff at the lake, and it's an easy trail all the way around it, so you can still get some fresh air. It's a gorgeous area to be at. We have a lot of great stores. We have a lot of vintage stores. Some in any of the towns, Cowlitz County is Kelso, Longview, Kalama, Castle Rock, Wahkiakum is all kind of lumped into one, and every town has a little bit of something. Castle Rock is known for American Bloom. During the summertime, they have these beautiful, beautiful flowers all over town. And there's some really great boutiques there, along with Kelso and Longview has a lot, and Kalama does too. So I always suggest just get out and kind of roam, because there's a little bit for everybody. All kinds of bookstores and hobby shops, and just a lot of great things to go see.
So let's talk about food for a second,
Okay.
because that's important. You got to
It's
eat.
super important.
So what would we expect as far as like restaurants, or what are your specialties, or what are things that you guys like to eat out there?
So some of our great places is Mill City Grill. They do buffalo stew, where they use buffalo meat, and hamburgers with buffalo meat. You can have the option of either or. We have Terry's Restaurant and on Broadway. And she does all kinds of great foods, steaks, seafood. It's another great place to eat. We have a lot of great breweries that also have food. So we have Explorer Brewing in Kelso. We have there's abundance of whatever you can think about. We pretty much have. We have some
Yeah.
Thai restaurants. We have just a lot of great, phenomenal places. We have Grants in the Monticello, which is a historic building. It's a historic hotel at one time. And they have Grants inside of there. They have great food there, steaks. There's something for everybody. And we'll have some of those great foods too. Also at Squatch Fest, we'll have Yeti Pizza, which is phenomenal handmade pizzas. We'll have
That
gourmet
don't
hot
actually
dogs.
have like Yeti meat on the pizza, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do like anchovies and no Yeti. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
So there's a little bit of something for everybody. We have an old theater pub area in Kelso too, where you can go catch a movie, $8 to match a movie, and you can sit and eat pizza and drink beer while you watch the movie.
Darn.
So that's kind of cool. They have a little Italian restaurant right next door to it. So if you're looking for something a little Italianish, you can go in there. They have great wines. from all over too. So we have a little bit of something
Pam.
for everyone.
Pam needs to be the mayor. You're so awesome, Pam. Like, you just love your town. Have you always lived there?
I do. I have
You're
not.
like
So
the queen. Yes.
So my story is a little different. I did grow up until I was 4 years old in Kelso. They rechanged the highway and made it bigger, so they bought our house. And so I moved up to a little tiny town called Ording, which is outside of Sumner and Puyallup, up by Tacoma. And then I moved back down here when I was in my early 20s and moved back. And I've been here ever since. And
Well, that was
I've
probably just like 10 years ago.
Right.
yeah, I wish. Anyway.
Yeah. And Shane mentioned earlier that the whole Ape Canyon incident. So Shane, and I think Mark Marcel probably told us this. So they actually, that's where they went. I forgot about that. They came down to Kelso and told their story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at a local bar down there, and told their story, and that's where it, really kind of went off from there. And you never know, you might get a Mark Marcel sighting at this event, and he's another phenomenal person. And that's the thing too about this event. You might get to see other investigators, researchers that are not speakers, but they love this event and mingling with the people and the speakers. They show up. Mark Marcel's, that's Mark Marcel. That's his stomping grounds down there as well. And phenomenal the work he's done with the Ape Canyon. I believe you guys have had him on your show before.
We did last year, yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Mark Marcel. He's
one of our
he's our
favorites, too.
buddy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's got some new stuff to talk about with they actually found the actual mine itself. So get him back on the show. It's a really cool story.
Yeah. So mine was found by a family member too, right? A relative of the crew, the party that was out there originally, great grandson or something.
Correct. Yeah.
So is the building still there though? You think with the bar that they told the story? You think it's still standing also?
I don't know because I don't know which bar it was. A lot of the historic Kelso downtown has changed a lot. There is still some of the historic buildings are still there, but I don't know exactly which bar it was, that they came down to find out exactly which building it was in.
Another project for Mark Marcel to add to his Canyon thing. Yeah.
He could just open the bar, just buy the bar. Could be called the Ape Canyon Bar.
There you go.
Good idea.
It's a good thing we don't live that close to you guys, because that's what I would be doing. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, so let's go.
I would enjoy it.
Let's start winding it down. And so the event is it starts Friday, January 26th. And then it's also Saturday, January 27th.
Yep.
4 to 8 p.m. on Friday, and then 10 to 8 p.m. on Saturday. Pam mentioned, so even for the folks who can't make it at 10 a.m. on Saturday, you can still come out. You come out whenever you want. The speaker's going to be going on all day long, so please do that. And then, Pam, can you tell the audience one more time how they can get tickets and track the event?
Yeah, so you can go to the KelsoLongviewChamber.org website and go to events, and that's where you can book your tickets. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. We have the Kelso Longview Chamber Facebook page. We also have Squatch Fest page. So, if you haven't been on either one of those, please do so. Squatch Fest has got lots of things happening on that page. So go and check it out. That's where we post most things first. So that's where you'll see that first.
So it's, what is it on the Facebook group for Kelso? Because I don't think I'm following that one.
KelsoLongviewChamber.org is our Kelso
I see
page.
it right here. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna follow.
Yeah,
Very
and then
cool.
Squatch Fest. Yeah,
Yep.
so
I'm already
we're
following
excited.
that one. Yeah. But
So-
super cool.
And then obviously, if you want to keep up with Shane and the Olympic Project team, Shane, what's the best way to do that?
You could follow us on, we have our website, olympicproject.com. We actually got some really neat updates on there, including a recent track line we discovered up in the Olympics. So that's unlimitedproject.com. You can follow me on. I do a bunch of different podcasts and stuff, and Monster X. Pardon me, Monster X Radio. Monster X Radio. You can follow me on there, and but unlimitedproject.com.
Cool.
Awesome. What we leave anything out, or did we cover everything, Pam?
I think we got it all. I'm excited to see everybody there.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm super, like, before I was excited. Now I'm super excited.
Yeah,
so.
and we might do some who knows? We're gonna do some things too out there.
Yeah,
You might see a live feed from us here or there while we're out there. So that'll be fun.
Awesome.
Well, cool. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Both of
you guys are awesome. We really appreciate you taking
We
the
do.
time to come on. I mean, we're really, really appreciative. Thank you so much,
Well,
guys.
thank you
We're
so much
super
for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so
And
much
for,
for having me.
the audience, go get your tickets. Go come out and see us. Not really us, but come see us. We want to see you.
We'll be
but
there.
There's Shane and
Yep.
everyone else is speaking. And
Yep.
say hi to Pam. Tell her thank you for putting the event on. And
She's the fiercest. Or the fierce.
but this was amazing.
Yep.
Thank you both.
And thank you, guys. Bye, Shane. Bye, Pam.
Thank you. We'll see
Bye.
you soon.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you, honey. Bye, guys. Oh, I am so excited. Did
Yeah.
you guys want to say hi to Leia?
She's been
Leia
on
keeps
our
jumping
lap.
up here. Hi, everybody. Mwah, 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 mwah.
On our lap the whole.
I kiss her,
If
she'll
you
go
guys
away.
see a tail once in a while during the podcast, now you know why.
Yeah, it's pouring out. And so, yeah, she jumped on us soaking wet, but that's okay. We love our kitties.
So we're stoked.
Yep.
So we can't wait to see you guys. And make sure you go over to the Untold Radio YouTube page, channel, the
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow the Bigfoot Influencers there.
Threads. You can make sure to comment and like and subscribe, and we really appreciate you guys.
And then one last thing, if you're at the event and you've already bought this book, and even if you haven't, we'll have some there. There's going to be folks at the event that you can have autograph their chapters. So it's a really cool thing.
That is super
A lot of folks
cool.
have been doing it, and there's going to, and not only the speakers, like Shane mentioned, there's going to be a lot of folks there that are just there, and it's just such a cool event. So
Yep. And make sure you come say hi to us because we'll be there.
yes, we will. So thank you guys.
Bye, guys.